On a quiet Sunday morning, in Jos North local government area of Plateau State, central Nigeria, people gathered for worship. It was Palm Sunday, a day of peace, reflection, and celebration. But what happened next would shock the nation, and leave scars that are still felt today. This is the story many have heard about, but few truly understand.
Little couple just murdered over 10 innocent Christians on Palm Sunday.
The town of Jos North local government area of Plateau State, in southwestern Nigeria, was alive with worship. Families dressed in their best clothes. Children laughed, choirs sang. Around a Christian neighborhood, the atmosphere was filled with joy. No one expected that within moments, everything would change. Gunshots suddenly echoed. Chaos erupted. Unknown attackers stormed the church, opening fire and detonating explosives. Worship turned into terror. People ran, some fell, others tried to protect their loved ones. In just minutes, dozens of lives were lost. It was one of the deadliest attacks on a place of worship in recent Nigerian history. Behind the headlines were real people. Mothers, fathers, children. Entire families were affected. Hospitals filled with the injured. Communities gathered in grief. For many, life would never be the same again. In the days that followed, questions began to rise. Who carried out the attack? Why target a church? Why on a sacred day? Authorities launched investigations. Different theories emerged. Responsibility was debated. But for many Nigerians, answers felt incomplete. And the deeper truth remained complex. Nigeria has faced ongoing security challenges for years. From insurgent groups, to regional conflicts, to rising tensions across different areas. But attacks like this raise a deeper concern. Is enough being done to protect civilians? And why do some tragedies fade from global attention so quickly? For a moment, the world paid attention. News spread globally. Leaders condemned the attack. So, the story faded. No sustained global conversation. No lasting outrage. And for many, it felt like another tragedy, forgotten too quickly. But the biggest questions of all is, who are the nations or corporations sponsoring this act? Why is Nigeria the target? Africa just want to be left alone and in peace. This is not just about one attack. It is about security, accountability, human life. It is about remembering that behind every headline are real people and real pain. The Palm Sunday Massacre in Nigeria is not just a story of violence. It is a story of lost out of unanswered questions, and of resilience. Because even in tragedy, communities continue to rebuild. But the truth remains. Some stories are told and forgotten. Others must be remembered.
Life in Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria. Life in Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria. Life in Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria. At Angwarukuba. At Angwarukuba. At Angwarukuba. Just not at Angwarukuba. Just not at Angwarukuba.
All right, so we are at Jude's mortuary, where the corpses of the people that were attacked at Angwarukuba were brought in. Over 20-something of them. I counted at least 28. So at least 29 persons were brought in here. So the government said they are not going to be doing a mass burial, that they will be burying them individually to give them the respect. I saw pregnant women. I saw a lot of young persons, older persons that were killed. So this man was present there yesterday. So he's going to give us an account of what happened. So my brother, please, in details, please be precise.
Now, as at about 7:45 p.m. yesterday night, I was driving down from Bauchi Road going to Lamingo,
And then as soon as I got to the Angor, I saw some men, on machine, about 4 to 5 machines, and then they started shooting. And as soon as I realized that it was, a heavy gunshot, I had to quickly try as much as possible to park where I'll be safe. And then from there, I started, getting the account of actually what happened. And I realized that so many people were actually shot dead, to the extent that even someone who actually entered a particular shop where that was actually in shop to hide, they still went there and gunned him down. And if you go to the shop presently, you realize that there are gunshots, on the shop. Now, why people actually ran was because it was believed that it was NDLEA. Because sometimes when NDLEA comes there, maybe possibly to make arrests, they shoot. And that was why all the youth actually ran. Because believing that Angwa youth are not youth that does not know their rights. But considering the fact that, NDLEA had been coming there before, they thought it was a normal arrest, and then they ran. And that was why the casualties was actually much. And that was why the culprits also were able to, to escape. So as at that yesterday night, some were actually taken to the hospital, some of the victims, and some that actually died immediately, were left there. And why they were left there was because everybody was agitating that taking them to the hospital, there might be, a report of saying it is just one person. And while, the victims were much, or the dead were much.
So the people that you saw,
Yes,
what were they wearing?
The people that came were actually wearing this. Some of them wore like a camouflage, and then some of them also were using this their turban. And some of them, one of them was actually shouting, "Is it Andro, something like that?"
NDLE.
No, not NDLE. Endro. That is in Fulani language now.
Fine.
Yes, that they should pull back and stuff like that. So
The camouflage that they were wearing, what type of camouflage was it?
it was not actually a direct green and black camouflage, but it was black and a little bit deep green.
Did you see the type of gun that they were holding?
Actually, they were actually using AK-45.
AK-47.
AK-47, sorry, yeah.
AK-47.
Yeah. And that was why, if you go to, why I said so is because if you go to the scene where I said they actually entered the shop and gunned down, you realize that there is even a gunshot, on the wall. So if it were a normal gun, the gun will not penetrate and even give a hole to the door, because the door is actually a steel wall, not actually
The people I saw,
yes.
the bodies I saw,
Yeah.
it's not all of them that were carrying bullet wounds.
Yes.
So how is it possible that they come down at some point to start using cutlass?
Yes, it came down at some point by using cutlasses. In fact, we have account of like 2-3 people that you see cutlass on their head directly. The videos are there, to show the evidence of what actually happened. Now, there is one thing that actually baffled me in the whole situation. Now, the police, we've always been hearing that police are friends. And in that particular spot, there's a police station. So even the police station actually ran for their life. These are police that actually they are armed. So we believe that they should have, in one way or the other, even if they were unable to arrest, at least they should have a contact of gunshot. But even they themselves had to close down the list and they ran away. So it means that our security is on question mark in this country.
Well, it's quite unfortunate what happened. And like I said, personally, I am not a journalist, so I'm not aggressive on the journalist. I also believe that we all have the capability to do what they are doing. There's no monopoly in buying people. There's actually no monopoly in it. Yesterday was a very significant day in the Christian calendar. Yesterday was Palm Sunday. In the Christian calendar, that is when the Christians feast and wait for the resurrection of Jesus Christ, which is next Sunday. Next Sunday is Easter, which is the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So doing that thing yesterday was barbaric. This same thing happened on Saturday in Borno State. A lot of people were also killed. Now, it's quite unfortunate that the Minister of Defense, Christopher Musa, I was surprised when I saw him on the campaign ground. That the Minister of Defense are supposed to be strategizing with the amount of insecurity we have in Nigeria. You are campaigning. That is the most craziest thing. I lost hope. And I watched an interview from the minister, from the Chief of Army Staff, I think. Where he was saying that they can't be killing the terrorists because just the way he said it, he said like a prodigal son, that they can come back home and they will be forgiven. If you keep forgiving them, if there is no penalty for the atrocity that they commit, they will keep on committing. So what do we do? My advice to Nigerians and the people of Okuba, do not let this repeat itself. You have a lot of boys, mobilize, strategize, and protect your community. Nothing more. All of us, they are our body. Not be only them if you do this one. That's all we can say. To the youth of Okuba, see, they are bringing bodies. Scores. Okay, this is a call.
Inside the car, man. There's people
inside. See, go there. Go to the
people inside. Inside the car.
You can say anything.
Now you see, before now,
It's okay. It's okay.
before now, there've been different records. Before now, there've been different records that are circulated, in one place or the other. That after the Salah, they will come for the attack. And we believe that the security architecture is supposed to have a proactive measure based on the record.
Yes, because I heard there was an info that
Yes,
these people, they put out a word that they will do this attack.
Yes.
And then it eventually happened and nothing happened. There was no measures that was put on ground to protect the people.
Yeah.